Kyle meets Andrea Corr. My guest today has been part of the biggest family folk rock band in the world for a decade and a half, reaching multi-platinum sales in several countries and selling over 60 million records worldwide. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. From the age of 15, Andrea Corr's greatest artistic love has been music. While the band takes a hiatus, Andrea sets out on her second solo record to cover songs by other artists with a personal significance to her and the development of her career. Her new album is called Lifelines, and Andrea Corr joins me here in this interview exclusive to Vaughan Radio and TV. Andrea, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Is that true? 60 million records?
It was a lot of records, anyway.
My goodness,
yeah.
60, well, incredible.
A lot of
Wow.
records.
First of all, when you came in, we were talking a little bit about Spain and your connections to Spain. You've been here many times. What does Spain mean to you?
Well, it was almost like the Spanish adopted us. On our first record, The Corrs, that is, Forgiven Not Forgotten, it was such a shock to us, to be in another country and for them to know our songs, love them so much. It was like, either they turned Irish or we turned Spanish, or we just actually mixed. And since we have the most amazing times in Spain.
Right, and now you've also recorded with Alejandro Sanz recently,
Yeah.
right? Alejandro Sanz.
Yeah, that's a while ago, yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, he was such a great singer, actually. I
Yeah.
love when I hear him sing. Yeah.
And your sister's done. Your sister Sharon did a
Yes.
recording with Alex Ubago, I think, as well.
Okay, yeah.
I'm digging, and when
You
I look
really
for these,
are.
I look for all these. Who have they played with? Who have they done work with? And I had to give up because there were just so many artists. You've worked with so many
Yeah.
people, such a repertoire of collaborations. But maybe we'll go back to the start. My Irish friend told me to mention that you're from the Wee County,
Yes, it is. It's the smallest county in Ireland.
the smallest county in
And
Ireland.
people say "we" a lot, so
Wee, yeah.
with two e's.
Oui, right. And you started at a very young age. You're 15 when you started with the Corrs, is that right?
It started because we auditioned for the film The Commitments, and we practiced two songs as a band together for the first time, and there we met our manager, and it snowballed from there. But I was 15 when we auditioned for that film.
And now, what was it like starting so young and so dedicated to your career at a young age like that? Or?
Well, to be honest, the way it was, we started when I was 15, but we started to write and record in a little 8-track studio that Jim had in his bedroom, but we went to school during the day.
You weren't like Michael Jackson or
No,
anything.
and there wasn't
Thank
the
God.
parents going,
Right,
I want to see Teeth and Eyes.
But your
It
parents
was-
were musicians as well, I understand, right? They had a
Yeah,
group.
they had a band called The Sound Affair, and actually I've dedicated this record to them. They gave us this love of music. Our house was immersed in it. They were always rehearsing for their gigs.
Yeah.
They played every weekend.
Right.
My mother actually sang for the first time on stage when she was pregnant with me. And,
Oh, really?
Live with an audience. And some of the songs that I've done, they sung in their band. So it's really quite lovely to come round to this point.
Right. And now you came out at a time when most of the music, in the early 90s, most of the music was more pop and even techno oriented, it seems, and you come out with music with traditional instruments. I guess that was a natural thing for you, maybe, because your family had been playing those types of instruments, but...
I think that we could hear that this was quite a unique blend. At that point it was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more of that sound now, but at that point the mixture of pop rock and traditional Irish music was new.
Right.
And it did just evolve, because Sharon played the violin, and, then we all had worked in a pub at one point, my auntie's pub,
Yeah.
and there'd be traditional Irish music sessions on there, and just loved that music. So I wanted to learn to play the flute, actually, and in order to learn that, you learn the tin whistle, and I was better at the tin whistle.
Yeah.
And then Caroline learned the baron, and it just then we incorporated it into our music.
Right, okay. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Celtic music in other countries. I'm from Canada. I don't know if you know any of the Celtic-style musicians on the east coast of Canada, from Nova Scotia, and we have the Rankin family, the Rankin
absolutely.
family, John Allen Cameron, Natalie McMaster, Great
Yeah.
Big Sea, Ashley McIsaac, a lot of names. I suppose you're
What
probably
about
familiar with.
Wainwrights? Aren't they,
Martha
and
Rufus
Wainwright?
Rufus, of course,
But their family also.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we've actually we covered a song by the McGarrigles. I mean, we would go up and tour there, and I actually found it really it's amazing what a line of latitude does, because you might be so far away, but you're actually very close.
My mother's from Cape Breton Island, and the accent there is basically Irish. My mother's from a town called New Waterford, and my grandfather would say, "Good day, boy.
Yeah.
How's she going, boy?" It was very, very Irish, the accent.
Yeah.
And very obvious. And I didn't realize that until I came to Europe and met Irish people and said, "Wow, this is definitely the origin of this accent." Very interesting.
We've really noticed that in Canada, yeah.
You did, yeah. Also in Spain, they're in the northwest of Spain, in Galicia. You have also some Celtic music, and is it Carlos Nunez? Are you familiar with Carlos Nunez?
Yes,
who has, and he has bagpipes, different style of bagpipes. You have the seated bagpipes that you play in Ireland, right? They're the seated.
The uilleann pipes, but are called
pipes.
the island pipes, really, when you translate it. We did, there's festivals up there in Santiago de Compostela, isn't there?
Yeah.
We did that one year as well.
Yeah.
I very much remember it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now in Canada, they have they have big Céilís, they have a Gaelic college there. The culture is very similar. They have what they call the Cape Breton Highlands in Canada, and the culture is really similar. It's very, very interesting, I think, to draw those comparisons.
It is. It's amazing. Yeah.
So your instrumentation, you went to New York. I was reading a little. Maybe you could talk about back in the early 90s going to New York. I heard this story about you waiting to meet your producer.
We went out to America to play in the Kennedy Library in Boston. So it was an Irish-American thing. And then our manager decided we'd use this opportunity and try and, knock on record companies' doors. So we went to LA and we knocked on doors, and they went, "Great, we love you." And then you never saw them again. Yeah. And it was the last day that we were going to be going home. We went into Atlantic Records anyway, and we met with a guy called Jason Flom there. And he said, we played him our music, and he said, he really liked it, and he seemed genuine. And he said, "God, I'd love our in-house producer, David Foster, to hear this." And he then said, David Foster is producing Michael Jackson in the Hit Factory at the moment. Right. So he said, I'll see if I can set up a meeting with him. Subsequently, anyway, he couldn't set up a meeting with David Foster. But our manager realised when we were outside and we'd finished a showcase for another record company that we were very close to the Hit Factory. And it was, a sweltering hot day in June, or it was June or July. I think it was June. It was hot. And we were all in our black clothes with our instruments because we just done the showcase. And we went to the Hit Factory. And John got through and he said, we're here to see David Foster. He kind of omitted that we hadn't an appointment. And somehow we got through the security. I mean, there was massive bodyguards for Michael Jackson, as you'd imagine. And then, there we are in the lobby, and David Foster comes down and he sees us, and he's like, obviously Canadian as well. And he's...
Is he?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yay. Anyway, I suppose probably because we were there, we went into a studio and we played live for him, and he couldn't get over the Irish instruments. Actually,
he walks out of a studio with Michael Jackson, and then he walks in and you're there with the Bowron, and
he was looking at Caroline and going,
wow.
What are you doing with that stick? What's happening there?
Yeah, because you've got, I'm sure maybe a lot of the listeners don't know exactly what we're talking about, but the drum. Now, is it not a skin of is it a goat skin?
I think it's goat skin, yeah.
Goat skin, and it's two-sided. The stick. Do you not hit it with the two sides?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I can play it anyway, but Caroline's brilliant.
Very, very interesting. Now, your new album, it's a covers album.
Yes. And
so you're covering artists that have influenced you. What was the selection process like?
It's not as really simple as that. In a way, that the idea was not really just a covers album. First of all, was the producer's idea, but to make an album of hidden gems, really, like songs that probably weren't so known. I was used to having written my own stuff and everything. So first of all, I was quite, I don't really do this. But then I went away and thought about, the luxury of just singing somebody's song and not having to prove it's a hit or anything like that. So basically we did this record over about 3 years. And
really?
The idea behind it really, and inspired by Harry Nilsson's song Lifeline. After I'd seen the film Midnight Cowboy, I saw a rare performance by him. The idea that songs in a way can be a lifeline. They can save you. Now, I
Yeah.
know that that's really quite dramatic, but what I've found to be the most flattering thing that can be said to a writer, and I've found has been said to me or my family, is, you know, your song helped me through something, or I fell in love to it and
Wow.
that. And so
Yeah.
the idea of is like songs that are lifelines for you. And these, I suppose, are my lifelines.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny when I looked at the track listing and I saw the Ron Sexsmith song on there, because I'm a big fan of his
Yeah.
music, and I interviewed him just last week, in fact, and he talked about having his so many of his songs covered by different artists.
Yeah.
And I think you did Tomorrow
Tomorrow in Her Eyes,
right, from Retriever, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is a really nice song. And what does that song mean to you? I mean, what could you say about Ron Sexsmith?
Well,
maybe?
you know, Ron Sexsmith, he's the most known for the most beautiful songs
Yeah.
that he writes. You
Yeah.
know, we people don't know of him.
Yeah.
And I saw a documentary on him recently, Love Shines.
I
don't
saw
know
it
if you
as
saw
well,
that.
and it was
Broke
incredible.
my heart.
It was incredible.
I
Yeah.
was very,
Yeah.
I was like crying
Yeah,
at the
and
end
his
of it.
wife is saying, I mentioned some of those things. His wife says, you know, he's only on this earth to write songs.
And he writes
And-
such beautiful songs, but not just
yeah.
that. He has the most beautiful voice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very special thing to hear a man sing like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for some reason it's just so
Yeah.
beautiful sound. Such a beautiful sound. Because it's a language school, I'm being aware of how I'm saying
No.
things.
Don't worry.
It's so a beautiful. It's such a beautiful.
So
And he
or
said
such.
he's the most underknown. No, that's not good.
No, this is the real thing. This is high level stuff right here. No problem. But one thing, as I started, I did some research. I was reading some stuff about you and about the producers you worked with. One thing that stood out, and it drew a line back to the Ron Sexsmith interview, because you talked about working with Mitchell Froom. And he said that on his solo album, one of the questions I asked Ron Sexsmith was, one of the songs on his solo album was produced by Daniel Langlois, who did the Joshua Tree for U2. He's done Bob Dylan. And he told me about this relationship he had with Langlois, and he said that, he offered to do more, but I had developed such a nice working relationship with Mitchell Froom that I wanted to respect that and keep working with him. And then I noticed that you or someone in your band, The Corrs, had said something similar about their experience with Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell's amazing, and you know he's very organic, really. I mean, like the last record we made with Mitchell was our Irish record, a record called Home, in which that McGarrigle song is on. We played them all live, and we built them up that way, and then we recorded them, which I know to a lot of people that aren't in the studio and don't know how things work, you might imagine that's how they work.
Yeah.
But that's how they used to work.
Right.
And it makes a record feel something else, because you can feel people moving together, you know what I mean? And hearing each other, and it's really lovely.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now, I want to talk about the songs that I haven't heard the whole record. I must admit, I haven't heard your whole record yet, but your voice is incredible. It really is incredible on the record.
Thank
but
you.
you're taking on Roy Orbison, for
I know.
example, who has such a range. You know, is there an element of, boy, I hope I do this song justice?
To be honest, this whole situation, making this record, was like a creative haven. And you know, if I had to in any way gone down the road of the thou shalt not touch, this is sacred, or, you know, or that kind of nervous reaction to it, then it'd be very hard to get really to do a good performance at all.
Yeah.
You know, I just had to, because this record is totally out of respect and reverence,
Yeah.
you know, and I suppose it's in singing them that you get even more respect, you know, particularly for somebody like Roy Orbison, not just for writing these
Yeah.
incredible songs, but for being a man and singing like that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
hitting
just,
those
you
notes.
know,
Sure.
outrageous.
Yeah.
And so beautiful.
Okay, and I'm wondering, maybe not so much with this album, but maybe with your last record, 10 Feet High, where you're writing your own material, being your first record away from your band and your
Yeah.
family, who are obviously you're so close to them for so many reasons. To what degree did they still collaborate? I mean, did you still call up and say, "Hey, what do you think of this demo?" Or were they kind of a sounding board for you still?
No, not really, to be honest. It was pretty apparent that we needed to kind of stop and put, cast an eye on our personal lives. And, Caroline was pregnant with her second child, and
Okay.
everybody took time out of it,
Yeah.
but me. And did different things. And because I wasn't at that point in my life, I had no husband or
Right.
sign of one, or do you know what I mean? Or my life moving in that thing. I just
Not
was,
having a partner, yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm going to write songs. No, I'm lonely. No, so but just because that's what I still did. I had nothing that was to take me away from it, really.
But they're always there for you.
Oh,
right?
they're
I mean,
always
you're-
there
you're
for
a
you, and
close
then
family.
obviously, there's no people I respect more, and their opinions ultimately down the line. I mean, they obviously were the ones hearing the record
Of course.
at the earliest, and
Yeah.
me and Caroline were brought up like twins in a way, so she would have heard them all as the songs I wrote on the piano as well before.
Great. Okay, I was wondering if we could sort of change gears a little bit. I brought something here I want to show you.
Okay.
I went downtown.
Give me a tin whistle.
I did. I picked up a tin whistle. I was thinking maybe you could kind of, show me a little ditty on the tin whistle. Look, there's a good boy. You're no hesitation here, eh? No hesitation. Now this one's for you. This is a better one. Now this is
This one you
perfect.
can tune.
Yeah, because I didn't realize about the C's and the D's. I'm not a tin whistle. These are D. Do you want
I like
D?
D. D is the most
D is a good one.
traditional one, yeah. But
So,
I actually like this one.
well, you probably prefer this one, right? This is a better whistle, I've been told.
I actually like the cheaper the better for me.
Really?
When it comes to tin whistles, that is.
Okay. Well, why don't we? Can you show me? Can you give me a little crash course here?
Okay.
What do I have to?
Well, just lift your fingers off. Do a scale.
But once you lift, you kind of lose. How do you keep control of the thing? How do you keep control of
Well,
it?
go there.
Oh, am I
You
doing
just have
something
to
wrong?
you get used to your breath. Okay, that's just on the higher octave. If you blow a little less,
Okay.
it's only a little breath. No, that's a bigger breath. Now you can get that. That's the higher octave. That's it. You got it. Yay.
Yeah. Can we hear a little ditty? Maybe a little.
Okay.
Wow! Wow! Fantastic!
There you go.
Fantastic! Incredible! I think we're running. Are we running out of time? Are we out of? We're almost out of time. Okay. Do you have just a second? What I'd like
Yeah.
to do. Fantastic!
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Can
A
I
little-
have the tin whistle though?
You want it?
Yeah.
Well, in fact, that one I borrowed from a friend, but I'm sure we can replace. I have one I can give you, but it's in C.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Do you want the one in C?
I'm just kind of into this green color, but you
Oh
borrowed
man,
that from a
I
friend.
feel horrible now.
Oh, it's
dude.
okay. I have
wanna
plenty
move
of
on.
tin whistles.
Okay, I want to move on, and I have some questions for you. Time to put you to the test with a little Spanish trivia.
Okay.
All right? Are you ready for this? Andrea Core,
Sí.
are you ready for this? See. Okay, now I'm going to ask you the same questions that I asked Ron Sexsmith 1 week ago.
Oh dear.
I have a feeling you're going to beat him. Okay, question number 1. Category 1 is sports. Okay? Real Madrid is one of the most famous football teams in the world. Can you name the second professional first division team in Madrid? The second team in Madrid. Can you name them? Ron Sexsmith failed on this question, so you can just say no. Everybody's smiling.
I don't know this.
Okay,
Football's
that's all
not
right.
my thing.
That's not your thing. That's okay. The answer is Atlético de Madrid.
Okay. Thank
That's
God
all right.
I didn't
That's
spend
okay.
time thinking
That's
on
all
it.
right. Okay, round 2, vocabulary. I think you're going to clean up in this round, Andrea. The first, okay, how do you say the following words in Spanish? Number 1, party.
Fiesta.
Correct. Number 2, nap. Nap. Well, you got to know this one.
Estoy muy cansada.
To take a nap.
I need
Una
it.
siesta.
Oh, una siesta. Of course.
Siesta.
What was I thinking
Siesta. Okay, wine.
of? Vino.
Vino, of course. Okay, good morning.
Buenos dias.
Correct. Bull.
Toro.
Toro, correct. Nice pronunciation as well. And finally, especially for you, song.
Cantante.
Ooh,
No, that's a singer.
That's a singer.
Canción.
Cancion, correct.
Yay!
Well done. Well done. Okay, next, are you ready for the geography round?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, a little bit of culture and geography here. Spanish cities. Okay, the city of Segovia. Now, is the city of Segovia famous for its Roman aqueduct or for its cathedral? The city of Segovia. Aqueduct
It's
or cathedral?
cathedral.
It's famous for its aqueduct.
Aqueduct.
Aqueduct, sorry.
Bum,
Okay, second question. Toledo. Is Toledo famous for its wine or for its swords? Swords.
Wine. Swords.
Famous for its swords. They made all the swords there for the Lord of the Rings. And even Conan the Barbarian, yeah, in the city of Toledo, yeah. That's all right. Ron Sexsmith didn't get those either. Round 4 is cuisine, food. One
Yum.
question only.
Yo
What-
tengo hambre.
What is morcilla?
Morcilla.
Or morcilla, you could say, but morcilla. What is it? Do you know what it is?
Is a little piece.
No, it's blood pudding. Blood pudding, sorry. Blood, it's just the reality. It's what it is.
Okay.
It's blood pudding. Last question. General knowledge here, Spanish knowledge. Who is Naranjito? Who is Naranjito? Do you know who? Now, Ron
Yo no sé.
Sexsmith stumbled on this one. Can you take a guess?
Is he? No.
Okay, he's a fictitious person. He's not real. Now,
So say it
do you know
again.
naranjito? Do you know what una naranja is? Naranja.
It's an orange.
An orange. So ito means little.
Little orange.
Little orange, but naranjito was the mascot of the 1982 Football World Cup in Madrid. And he's kind of famous. He's on T-shirts and so on. I didn't expect, I wouldn't, I know, it's a little tough. Sorry.
Okay.
A little
I was
tough.
actually going
But
into, it must be Halloween.
But
a
Ron
little pumpkin.
Sexsmith thought he was a politician. He said,
right.
"Is he a politician?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Is he from Don Quixote?" And I said, "No, he's
That
not
is
from
what
Don
I was
Quixote."
thinking. But our minds went the same way because I thought Don Quixote, but I don't remember him.
Okay, well, you've done well. I'm going to say you beat Ron Sexsmith anyhow in Spanish trivia, but thank you. We're out of time, Andrea. It's been fantastic. I want to thank you so much for coming in. It's been a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks.